Hello, welcome to the new video. In today's video we're going to take a look at me and my Mankey. We're going to have the Mankey community day coming up, and for this reason we're going to take a look at what you kind of need to know about those Pokemon, how good, how important is this community today. Everything you're going to see today, and especially the main thing of this team, are going to be 6 teams that you can use around Mankey and Primeape, of course, Primeape that you want to use, Mankey you don't actually want to use, it's a Pokemon that you can catch, and of course Annihilape. So Primeape and Annihilape going to be very interesting Pokemon with this community today, and we're going to take a look at the community today itself, everything around it, and then we're going to take a look at 6 teams that you can run, 3 for Great League, 2 for Ultra League, 1 for Master League, and just generally some stuff about those Pokemon, what you kind of want to use, etc. Let's move on here real quick, but also before that, feel free to leave a like and subscribe, would really appreciate it. This video took quite a bit of research as well towards it, which we're going to talk a bit about it as well in this video, so let's move on for the first slide. What's the community day? This is going to be the community day here. We're going to take a look here at the 10th of November, which is going to be the Sunday. Having 3 times catch XP as a bonus is not really ideal for me at least. I don't really care too much about this, but still, the Pokemon itself is very, very nice. And we're going to see here in the middle as well, graphics by the way from Galax. We're going to see here in the middle Rage Fist 50 damage and increases attack by 1 stage. So, how much energy do you think this move is going to have? 45? 40, 50, no, 35 apparently. Based on what is currently on the code, this move has 35 energy. This is also what this video is based, and I personally hope they change it. I hope it's 40 energy when this actually gets released. I'm currently recording on Tuesday, might be changed in the code until then. In my opinion, 40 energy makes way more sense than 35, and we're gonna talk about why this is the case as well, because if this stays like this community day is a must-have. Like literally, if you don't have the Pokemon, you are in a ginormous disadvantage, because especially Primeape is going to be insane, and we're gonna take a look at this now. Primeape. Now in Primeape here, I'm gonna take a look in the first 4 things here as well at just the normal Primeape, the Shadow Primeape, the normal Annihilape, and the Shadow Annihilape, and how they're gonna change in the one-sheet scenario in the Open Great League. So, normal Primeape. Running Karate Chop, Legacy move. Please, remember, Legacy move, don't waste your TMs, use an Elite fast TM. Ice Punch and Cross Chop. Cross Chop, also Legacy move, very cool, but it's going to change a little bit because of pacing reasons. What we're gonna see here as, in my opinion, best moveset afterwards is going to be Rage Fist and Close Combat and Karate Chop. And you might think, why Primeape? Primeape actually is supposed to get Rage Fist as well, which ties in with the main series games, as you need to go, I think, for like 10 Rage Fists or something like this in order to evolve Primeape first on. So it does make sense that Primeape gets this move as well, but this makes this move way more unbalanced and way too overpowered. Look at this, 27 wins, 13 losses with this moveset. You have over like 20 plus, like 23, 24 plus wins in every shield scenario against like the Pokemon right now. And the crazy thing as well, if you take a look then after this one and take a look what actually beats you, it is only Pokemon that resist fighting. Any neutral scenario, any like water type Pokemon, whatever, you win. There's nothing like you lose to. Like only Pokemon that can resist fighting were able to win against Primeape with its moveset. And this is wild. For IVs, we already saw on the site before here, by the way, the IVs down there as well for PvP. Those are the number 1 IVs that you want to have kinda for PvP. Personally speaking, especially for the normal Primeape, which is the thing that most people are going to look after as well here, I would recommend you to have a little bit of an attack investment. Around 3 or 4 is going to be the best. The best kind of IV spread that I kind of found for myself personally, which I would want to go for, would be something like 315. I think 12 it was, or 359, one of those was. But those going to allow you basically to have, I think, a breakpoint against Ariados, which can be very important, and a breakpoint against Azumarill, which is going to make the matchup in the 2-shield scenario a little bit easier. Why Azumarill? This is going to be such a horrible matchup. Resist fighting. You win against Azumarill with Primeape in the 2-shield scenario. With this Primeape, but also with the other Primeape. And this is like the ridiculous stuff here. This Pokemon is insane. This Pokemon is overpowered. Like in Azumarill, like one of the bulkiest fairy type Pokemon, trying to counter this Pokemon, which is a very squishy, which is a fighting type Pokemon, doesn't have anything that hits for like stab damage either with that one, of course, Karate Chop, which is resisted. But this is going to be ridiculous. In the 2-shield scenario, Shadow Primeape easily can beat Azumarill just because of pacing, just because of the boost of Rage Fist. Guaranteed 1-stage attack boost for this move is ridiculous. It's the strongest kind of charge move in the game with that one as well. Boosting your own attack while doing a ton of damage. Like, yes, we had Power Punch, but I think that's like 20 damage and not 50 damage. And this is going to be such an insane difference as well, which you can see as well already. Primeape looks ridiculous. So, how is the Annihilape going to look like? Worse. Already, I can say that to you, it's going to be worse, but it also can be better. And this thing as well, why it's actually really important to get both of them. It's easier to evolve Annihilape, by the way, in doing this event. I think you have to have the Primeape as a buddy, but I think you only have to catch Fighting type Pokemon. Currently, you have to catch, I think, Ghost. Oh, no, you have to battle Ghost and Psychic type Pokemon. So, I don't know how they actually did there as well, but you're gonna see it anyway. It's going to be way easier during the community day, so I wouldn't really worry about getting Annihilape there. But as you're gonna see here, yeah, Annihilape, counter Night Style Shadow Ball. Annihilape usually is the better Pokemon because of the typing. Ghost and Fighting is a ridiculously good typing. But as you will see here with Rage Fist, it is going to climb up, don't get me wrong, but it's not as overpowered as before, mainly because of pacing reasons. Counter is going to be not as ideal as Karate Chop. Karate Chop is just the way better move. But here, I feel like Ice Punch makes a lot of sense. You could also decide to go for close combat here, but Ice Punch is going to give you a little bit better coverage, and I feel like this would help this Pokemon out a bit more. Taking a look at the Shadow variant, we're gonna see here, of course, is a very similar one, but actually the normal variant of Annihilape seems to be a little bit better, as it can utilize a little bit better the boost of Rage Fist, and so I feel like the normal one might be a little bit better for this. Keep your Shadows for the Primeape. For those, it makes way more sense to have the Shadow variant. Annihilape not as important. And so we can move on to the first team here. We're going to have a team with Clodsire, Feraligatr, as well as Primeape. Primeape Shadow here with the Rage Fist looks absolutely ridiculous. That's why I didn't really include like those kind of stats here before. You see already what this Pokemon can beat. You don't need the Shadow for Primeape and for the Annihilape either. Both of them are functioning easily well as well with the normal variant. This Pokemon is super ridiculously overpowered at this rate as well already, so just battle it, like just play one, whatever you have here. Like, this Pokemon is just a must-have. As we can see here, there's basically nothing that can really beat this team hard. It is, yeah, very, very neutral, very, very, yeah, overpowered, and kind of tries to just win endgame with Rage Fist boost, with close combat sweeps, and like honestly, like Primeape going to be the best sweeper for sure next season, or like this season as well, no, for the last few weeks there. So, next team, going to be a classic one from Annihilape, and I feel like Euro makes a lot of sense here. This is like kind of team that got really, really high up in the leaderboards before Counter got nerfed. And now with Rage Fist and Close Combat here, I don't really see the point of Ice Punch on this Pokemon because you have Ice already with Dugong, but also you're going to be able to punish Flying type Pokemon with Bastion, so there's no real reason for this one. But as you're gonna see here, this team looks also like a lot of fun. Malamar can be a bit of a problem, and that's also one of the reasons why I feel like that the Sacer of Drapion actually makes more sense for this team. Has a lot of better matchups for this team as well, but anything else is going to be very nice. Clodsire can be a bit of a tricky Pokemon, but then again, if you run maybe Drapion as a Sacer, maybe run Ice Punch to Annihilape in the lead, and you're going to have a little bit of a better time as well with this one. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting team for sure. Bastion, very, very cool in the back. What you can also do as well, if you want to have a little bit of a less weakness to Clodsire, just swap it a little bit around. Go for Annihilape lead, go for the Sacer of Drapion, but go for the Dugong on the back and just kick out the Bastion. That's going to give you better coverage against Clodsire while still maintaining like your kinda, yeah, very well balanced team, and I think it's going to be maybe even a little bit more consistent for you. And so we're gonna move on now to team number 3. And that's going to be like the one combination which you saw already in the metas before of a lone Sandslash as well as the Annihilape, which is basically perfectly working together there. Lone Sandslash is going to be able to beat Fairy and Flying type Pokemon. The main weakness of Annihilape there as well, and I think actually other than Ghost type Pokemon, the only weakness of Annihilape, but you have at least like Rage Fist to do super effective damage against other Ghosts. We're going to have the Primeape here as our Sacer to bait out also potential Ghost type Pokemon, but also to punish other opponents with Ice Punch here. We're going to have Rage Fist, Ice Punch as a moveset here. Ice Punch is going to get reached really, really fast, which is going to make it very, very interesting. And as you can see as well, this is looking like a really good team. Azumarill might be a little bit tricky. You can go for the fast move of Shadow Claw though on the Alone Sandslash as well. Going to help you out with this matchup if it's going to be too tricky. Malamar has to beat you first. Like, honestly, Malamar, while it looks like, of course, it's going to be able to beat all of the Pokemon here together, it's not going to sweep your entire team. It just doesn't work like this with Malamar. It is not good enough for that one, and anything else you're kind of going to be able to beat. And so, yeah, this team looks ridiculous. And we can kind of do the similar stuff here as well in the Open Ultra League. There are 2 different Ice-type Pokemon that are going to work out quite well with this one. I would recommend you still the Sandslash, by the way, but Obama Snow works out as well. As you're going to see here again, it's the same kind of play there as well. The main reason why I feel like that Sandslash is going to be a little bit more viable as well, viable of course, going to be the Tentacruel. Tentacruel is going to be a Pokemon where Sandslash going to have a way better time. Having access to Shadow Claw plus the Drill Run is going to be a very nice for that matchup, which the Obama Snow just going to struggle a little bit against, making it a little bit of an awkward one. But anything else you're going to be able to kind of beat quite easily. And even against Geldurch, like Primeape now all of a sudden wins against this Pokemon, which is quite ridiculous just because of Rachus being a very overpowered move. And so we're going to move on to team number 5 here, where we're going to see the Primeape in the lead. We're going to try to kind of sweep already from the beginning. A lot of times Primeape actually can sweep through teams already in the beginning, and utilizing the super fast close combat, only 5 fast moves to go for a close combat, is ridiculous in order to so much pressure against the opponent. Look at this moveset here. Rachus close combat together looks so overpowered. Build your Primeape, you can use a normal one. Shadow is not necessary for neither of the leagues. Both of them are going to be fine. Feraligatr is going to be very nice as well. And Riftbloom in the back here going to help you out as well, especially with the Icy Wind coverage again. For those potential flying types, you're going to have a better time against. But again, this team looks like ridiculous, and honestly, Primeape is going to be a Pokemon that you want to have for the upcoming season. I would be very surprised if it is not going to land in the top 5 spot when like people going to update. Very surprised about most likely number 1 spot, but it's not going to be the same for the Master League. You're not going to be able to use Primeape here. Primeape only maxed out at like around 2580 MMR, or like, yeah, not MMR, actually CP of course, which is going to be something that's not really usable for this league. But Annihilape is going to go up to 3600, which is going to allow you to at least utilize RHs a little bit. But as you're going to see here, while this team looks like a really good one to use this around, it's not going to be too great, mainly because Annihilape doesn't really have the best play in this meta, even with Rage Fist. As the main threat for this community today is the Primeape. Primeape is what you want to go for. Get a little bit of an attack investment of like 3, 4, 5, somewhere around there. Going to help you out in the long run for the normal variant as well. And this is going to be it for this video. Hopefully it helped you out, and I will see you then. Bye bye.